Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning, Shiva.
Yeah, Today the topic is Splunk SIEM. I think we go to start, right? Yeah. Today the topic is Splunk SIEM. So, which is before going to discuss about the SIEM and all, let's go back to the basics of what we discussed previously. Previously, we discussed for any network, there is certain structure. There are certain infrastructure, like services will be there, infrastructure will be there, like whether it's be the server or network devices or any other security devices. So altogether will be comes under the infrastructure of the particular company. So as a SOC analyst, your primary role is to find out any security breaches or security any malware attacks or any kind of security related items to find out in network. So in a day-to-day activity, so you have to check with the antivirus logs in a network, as well as different anomaly activities. Anomaly means suspicious activities related to the email or server or host or any other logs. You need to work on different uh, infrastructure platforms, whether it's Windows or Linux, or you have to work on multiple things. So single analyst to log into each and every device and find out the what happened, and to do the analysis, it's very difficult. Because let's say uh, I have this simple network where I have the different servers. Few of the servers are Linux, few of the servers are Windows, and the rest of the network devices will be there. Those are the different kind. If you want to understand, so what kind of logs it is, so the log format of each and every device is different. Let's say if this is Windows, so kind of logs format will be the different logs. Let's say this is the Windows log, this is the Windows log collected on my machine. So this is a different kind of log compared to the logs related to the Linux. Let's say, sorry, it's not readable, unreadable format. Yeah, but the log file, like each and every system log file are different compared to the others. So in the same case, as a security analyst, you need such kind of device where you can log in into only one device and can get logs of all the other devices in the infrastructure. So in this case, we got the device called SIEM. So Splunk SIEM here comes into the picture. So this Splunk SIEM will collect the logs from all the sources in a network, and it will give it to analyst, whether it's a firewall or antivirus or any other thing in the network. It will collect the logs and it will give it to you. This is called log collection agent or log collector, you can say, in general. But in a security term, it having the broader experience and the broader level of the functionality. So it's called SIEM, means security information and event management tool. So today we are going to discuss about the same SIEM tool. So one of the SIEM tool. Give me a second. So security information and event management tool. So So far we discussed like the in each and every network there are the different systems, and each and every system altogether it's having the different kind of environment. But what security information event management tool do? It's altogether it have the different functionalities. So it will give you the analyst, the user give the, it will give the users to power or use the log and logs different generated by different systems, and you can do multiple things using security event and information event management. Let's see what we can do from security information tool. So here we are going to discuss about one of the security information tool, that is Splunk, which is the widely used and very popular tool among SIEMs. There are other SIEMs also there, but this is very special because it's having the different capabilities compared to the other SIEMs. So what SIEMs do? Let's list out. So anybody having any idea what SIEMs do apart from the log management? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, apart from the log management, anybody have an idea like what SIEM can do?
Yeah, actually,
Event management as well.
Okay.
It monitors the events based on some unsuspicious logs.
Okay. Okay. Somebody saying, yeah.
yeah,
Somebody saying,
it will trigger alerts.
give me a second. Okay, it will trigger alerts. Okay. What else? Hello. That's it or anything else? Hello. You guys are with me?
We can
Yeah, it will correlate logs and
Comes under the log and event management or those parts. Alerts and alerts trigger also will come under the event management and log management.
okay,
So anything else?
nothing.
Okay. It's an application monitoring tool. So using Splunk or SIM, using in general, using SIM, you can monitor applications. You can monitor web applications as well as your internal applications, whatever the application. You can monitor the application health status or application details or application file systems, or you can monitor entire application related items. And you can monitor servers also. You can monitor server. You can monitor network also. So it's a network monitoring tool. So in general, I can call as infra monitoring tool. So any other things it can do?
creating dashboards and reports.
Yes, yeah, creating dashboards, reports, all comes under the log and event management, because the reports on the logs will do as part of the events and logs. So those comes under those are the subsections of log management and event management.
User behavior analysis.
User behavior analysis, very good point. User behavior analysis. Uh, User behavior analysis. There is another name for it.
UBA.
Operational intelligence, or UBA. All comes under the same thing. And the next one, anything else? It's a big data tool. It's a big data tool. Same here in the Splunk, it's a big data tool also. It can work for machine learning also. So this is also one of the use cases for the Splunk. It can use in machine learning also, Splunk. So these are the different things the one Splunk tool can do. So whether it's your SOC user or security related, it will do, as well as the data related, as well as network related, as well as the machine learning or the big data, which is the new technologies. So which also the Splunk SIEM can do. These are the few things Splunk can do apart from the alerts creation and all. But here we are focusing on Splunk SIEM. So in the security point of view, so we'll discuss in the throughout the class today and tomorrow, or the next week also we'll discuss about only security point of view Splunk. So a bit about the architectures and all. We'll discuss about different kinds of architectures and different components of Splunk. After that, we'll go to the real-time log analysis and all. So this is what a Splunk SIEM can do. And the one thing I forgot to mention, what are the things we going to discuss in the Splunk means. Splunk architecture we are going to discuss today, and I mean in the entire Splunk course to now. Splunk section. Splunk architecture including different components in the Splunk, or different kinds of architectures in the Splunk, and how to calculate the sizes of the Splunk component. Second one, different Splunk architecture and log analysis. Yes, log analysis. So log analysis also we're going to discuss in the Splunk. And in the log analysis, it will include alerts creation and all. Alerts creation, reports, dashboards, and we'll discuss about searching, SPL, Splunk processing language. Just note it down these things, like kind of index for the this section. And security use cases. Based on kill chain. Cyber kill chain. Based on the cyber kill chain, what are the security use cases we can build on Splunk? So we'll discuss that topic, especially using some practical data. Apps and add-ons installation in Splunk. So in the Splunk, we can install few of the applications related to the particular tools related. We'll discuss those points. So in once we completed the basics of the Splunk. So we'll how to do the apps and add-ons installation of the Splunk, how to create dynamic alerts. So alerts creation also will come under that, and advanced searching. Advanced searching also will discuss about lookups, macros, and correlation searches if possible. Correlation searches. These are the topics we're going to discuss. So this is so far we discussed about different security tools and all, but this Splunk course especially will cover not only in the range of the Splunk user as a security analyst. It will cover up to Splunk level 2 user. Level 2 user which is below admin level and above the user level. This is called power user. So we'll discuss about user roles also in the Splunk. There you can understand what is power user. So these are the things we're going to discuss in the Splunk sections. I think it will take 3 to 4 classes. I think 3 to 4 classes will be there apart from the your exercising and like the practical thing. Okay. Uh, okay, let's start with the Splunk and all. I think everybody noted down these things. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, noted.
Okay, good. Let's start. Okay. So far we have seen Splunk will have all the log sources coming into the Splunk and SIM if you collect the logs on them. Let's see what is the different components of Splunk, insights of the Splunk, and what each and every component means. We have to we'll look into the each and every component of Splunk. I think yeah. So in the Splunk, there are mainly the 4 components are there. Main components, which is very critical components. So the first component in the Splunk, which is useful, like which is a very primary component, search head. The next one, indexer. Third one, forwarder. So 3 basic components of the Splunk, which is search head, indexer, forwarder, and there are other certain components which are useful in the large environment. So when you go to the big organizations, these components will come into the play picture. Deployment server. So we'll discuss about each and every component in detail. Deployment server and licensing master. License master. And cluster master also will come here also, but yeah, cluster master. So let's see what is search head. So whenever you think about Splunk, so in a user level, what we logged into that, like the interface which we logged into is called Splunk search head, like where we can see the visualization part, and it's a basically you can call it as Splunk web interface. Search head is nothing but Splunk web interface, the basic first component you can see as a user level. Splunk web interface where you can see all the logs. Here you can see all the logs on the visualization part, visual part. The basic first one is Splunk search head. So all the visualization part, whatever we are seeing in the for regarding the Splunk and all, this is called Splunk search head. So what's the main role of the search head is to, it will give the visual part of the logs, like you can see the logs, you can play with the data, you can play with the data, like create, you can create dashboards, you can create alerts, you can create reports. So all these things you can do using Splunk search head. So whatever you do with the data is called Splunk search head. You can say this is face of the Splunk. So the next one, the very important part in the important component in the Splunk is indexer. This indexer you can call as heart of the Splunk. Heart of the Splunk, or you can call it as a brain of the Splunk. So this is where all the operations related to the Splunk will be done. So all the operations of the Splunk will be done here. The main the functionality of the indexer is to store the data which is collected from the different log sources. Store the data collected from the different log sources. As well as index the data. So what is index means, we'll discuss now once we're done with the component. Just remember the name index. So the main agenda or the main functionality of the indexer is to store the data which is collected from the different log sources and index the data. You can call it as the indexer works as a database to all the logs, as well as a operational mind of the Splunk, including the database as well as operational mind. You can call it as it's a like human being. If you have the heart as well as the brain will store all the information, it will do all the functionality, and the heart will give empower, like with the heart, help for the heart, all the body parts will work. So indexer will do the both of the jobs here. So it will do the job of the brain as well as the heart for the data. So yeah, the next one, the forwarder, which is the frontline, you can say which is frontline or the basic component of the Splunk, which will collect the data. Collect the data from sources. Let's call the sources might be like different any of the network devices or any servers and all the data collected from the forwarder only. It will collect the data from the forwarder and it will forward the data to indexer. So you can say data collector, forward is a data collector. There are two types of forwards are there. We'll discuss. So once we're done with this Splunk, how Splunk works. Okay. The forwarder, you can say call it as data collector. So deployment server, the next item is a deployment server. So what deployment server will do is it will monitor and it will enable users to do the configurational changes among different Splunk components. Let's say this comes into the picture when there is a multiple indexers, or if it is a bigger organization. So this comes into the picture, deployment server. So this acts as central management console for the Splunk. So it can manage the configuration of indexers, search head, and forwarders. Configurations of search head. Search head, I'll call it as SH. Indexer. And forwarder. So in a larger deployment, so this is what the deployment server will do. Just remember the what it will do, but you can get the clarity once we are into the architecture level. And the next one is licensing master. So every Splunk or any component will, this is Splunk is not the free tool. It's even though it's offering free trial, but it's not the free tool. So the licensing part of the Splunk is managed by licensing master. So it will keep track of license usage. It will keep track of license usage in a Splunk environment. And this is also very significant when it comes to the larger deployments. It was very important in kind of like larger deployment. So let's say, so we'll see a whole other deployment works and all. So the license master will be mainly useful in the larger deployment. And the next one, very important, is cluster master. So this component of the Splunk also very useful in cluster environment. So I'll show you how the cluster environment look like for the Splunk architecture. But yeah, it will manage different items in the indexer related and forwarder related and search head related items. Okay, this is the brief information about all the Splunk components. Everybody clear with this? Any doubts? Okay.
No, as of now.
Okay, good. Let's see. This is the basic differences or the basic information about Splunk. And let's see how Splunk works. How Splunk works. Yeah. So Splunk works in different formats. Like there are 4 stages of Splunk. Splunk working. Yeah. So the main agenda of the Splunk is to convert the machine data. Machine data means which is connected, which is collected from the different log sources into readable data or events. So the main agenda of the Splunk is to convert the machine data into readable format. So there are the 4 stages in the Splunk. The first stage of the Splunk is input stage, or to the precise in data input. The second stage of Splunk is parsing. or data passing. Data passing. The next one, the third stage, data indexing. Searching. So there are the main four stages of the Splunk: the data input, parsing, indexing, and searching. So all that machine data. So machine data means which is the data collected from the different log sources. Let's say the log sources is different items, different log sources will be there, whether it's infrastructure log or uh, any other log. All the logs collected from the different sources or comes together to data input stage, right? So data collected from the different sources will come to the data input stage. So you can see here, you can see, so there are different kinds of data. So virtual server data, Oracle data, SAP, Unix, Windows, organization, and all the data will comes to the Splunk, which is the first stage, which is a data input stage. Here, the data collected by using forwarder. Using the Splunk component called Splunk forwarder. Splunk forwarder will collect the data from the different log sources. And in the forwarding input stage, the forwarder, if I say forwarder, there are two types of forwarders are there. So let's see what's those forwarder types. So the first stage of the forwarder is, the first type of the forwarder is universal forwarder. The next one is heavy forwarder. Heavy forwarder. So universal forwarder is lightweight forwarder, the basic forwarder of the Splunk. It will only send, send the data from collectors to indexer. It will only collect the data sent to indexer. So the heavy forwarder is much heavy component which will do. Apart from the data collection, it will do one more thing. So we'll discuss here that one. So the primary stage data collected from the Splunk forwarder, and the data collected in the first stage will be forwarded to the second stage. The stage 2 is called data parsing. So what the data parsing will do? The raw data which is collected from the input stage from the forwarder is broken into individual items. So the raw data which is connected from the different uh, sources, which is converted into events, it means the fine understandable lines, and it would transform, it will add time frames and fields, different fields it will add. So like we'll see about the different fields, how the fields will be added to the data based on certain indicators. It will convert the big large data into chunks of the events, like small parts of the events, which is understandable. And based on it will you can say it will transform the metadata into useful data. Here, the main component which works in the data parsing stage is indexer. Also, some part of heavy forwarder also will works here. So we'll discuss about the heavy forwarder a bit later once we're done with the log flow. Let's say the main part of data parsing the data parsing will be done at indexer. So the data forwarder, Splunk forwarder forwards the data to indexer. The indexer will do the parsing. And the next one, indexing, data indexing stage. So what indexing stage will do is the parsed data. So parsed data means the data comes from the next stage, the previous stage, the data parsed data will be stored. I think I'll change the font. Yeah, this is good. The parsed data will be stored in indexer. So this stage of the storing the data is called data indexing. So this will be done at indexer level. Indexer, the main device, the main component of the Splunk which is deals in the data indexing is data indexer. So also the data will be stored in the indexer, and the next stage is searching. So what searching will do is it is the form of search head. Like search head will works here. User can put the data from the indexer. So our user will pull the indexed data, and he will do for the useful for the visualization part. So visualization will be done in the searching part. So the stored data at the indexer is pulled by search head. Here the component is search head. Search head. So this is how the data flow in the Splunk works. There are 4 stages. The first one, data input, the parsing, indexing, and search head. So when you see the stages on the Splunk, so you can understand in the 4 stages, there are 3 significant components. One is at data input stage, one is at parsing and indexing, one is at searching. So the component which works in the second level is indexer. The component which works in the primary stage is a forwarder. Forwarder, and the next one which works in the stage of the searching. This is search head. Search head. And the component which will do the part of collection as well as parsing. So not indexing, but it will do the parsing and collection, which is called This part of the component, Splunk component, is called heavy forwarder. Forwarder. So this is the basic, the configuration, or you can the basic working of the Splunk. Everybody clear with it?
Yes.
Okay. Let me save this. I can share this also. Splunk working. So everybody clear with all the four components, right? The important components. What search head do, what indexer do, the what heavy forwarder and the forwarder do. Heavy forwarder and the forwarder, the both are works in the same line, but the advantages of having heavy forwarder is it will do the parsing also. Okay, this is clear. Okay, so the working of the Splunk, you can say. So the data flow should be from the forwarder to indexer, index to search head. This is how the basic Splunk works. So far clear with the Splunk thing, right? Yeah. Everybody clear, right? No doubts in the Splunk. Yeah, good to go. So this is what the heavy forwarder. As I said, it will do parsing and collection. So the basic components of the Splunk, and the next one is different architectures of the Splunk. So as we discussed it, the deployment server, licensing master, cluster master, which is not present in the basic architecture, but I'll show you where those will comes under the picture. Splunk architecture. Let's see what kind of architecture is there. There are, I think there are four kinds of architectures will be there in the Splunk. First one is smaller deployment, small environment, small environment, so medium environment, large one, and cluster one. You can say more than large environment. It's a cluster environment or site to site, multiple site environment. There are four kinds of architectures will be there in the Splunk. So based on the level of the Splunk indexing. So here one more point we need to discuss. As I said, the raw data and converts into Splunk. The raw data is converted into the readable data and parsed, and the indexing the part will be done at indexer usually. So if you see, the main component indexer is will do the operations of the Splunk. So the Splunk licensing part is based on how much of the data the indexer is indexing per day. How much data per day? Per day, how much of the data is Splunk indexing? This is called Splunk capacity or indexer capacity or indexing license. License. Based on the indexing license only, the Splunk performance will be there, because uh, you have the bigger organization. Let's say you have the bigger organizations, you're sending lots of data to Splunk. So based on the Splunk license information, like let's say it will be generally on the GBs. Are you indexing 100 GB per day or 200 GB per day or 1000 GB per day? Based on the licensing will be there. The license will be monitored by the licensing master based on the indexing capacity of the indexing. Okay, let's see the different environments in the Splunk. This is gone. Okay. Yes. So as I said, everybody can see this, right? Hello. Yeah. Everybody can see this.
Yes.
Okay. Good. As I said, the small enterprise, which is having only one set head, one indexer, the few universal forwarder, because based on the different logs. So there will be the one indexer and one set head will be there, and this is for the small enterprise. So for the small enterprise architecture, the indexing would be 100 GB per day minimum. Like this is the maximum amount, like less than 100 GB per day will be indexed in the single environment, which is having one indexer, one search head, and few forwarders. This is the small environment, which is less than 100 GB per day indexing capacity. So here you can see there is no licensing master, there is no deployment server, right? But the licensing master role as well as deployment server role is done by, which is taken over by indexer itself. Here the indexer itself will work as indexer, licensing master, deployment server. Okay. Yeah. The next one is medium enterprise. So the medium enterprise will, you can see which environment we can refer as a medium enterprise is, this is having two such heads, two indexers, and multiple the log sources or forwarders. This kind of environment is called medium enterprise, which having more than one indexer, more than one such head. So more than one indexer and search head is medium environment. You can call it as medium environment. So medium organization. So here the data indexing size is between 100 GB to 250 GB per day. This is the indexing level or indexing capacity of the medium environment. You can call it as medium environment. This is the indexing level. So you have the two search heads which are connected together, which is, you can say, which are clustered together, which are mapped together, two search heads as well as two indexers. So here the load will be managed by two indexers as well as two search heads. The data which is coming from the forwarders will be equally shared by each indexer to do parsing as well as indexing. It's equally shared by two indexers to do parsing as well as indexing. And the search head, doing the searches, creating the alerts or dashboards and all the pulling information related things which are shared by those search head itself. For example, if you log into one search head, you're pulling the data, other search head also will pull the data, it will send it to this search head, so it will work together. Yeah, those two work together in a clustered format. You can call it, this is two are combined together into one, this is two combined together into one. This is a medium environment. The next one is large environment, so which is large enterprise. So see this large enterprise where you can see the deployment server as well as licensing server. These two stayed here. So in the large environment, it's having more than two search heads, more than two indexers, and heavy forwarder comes into the play. So search heads and indexers. So more than two search heads and indexers will be there, and heavy forwarder will be there. So why heavy forwarder will be there means heavy forwarder will do as a parsing also. So it will give less load to the indexer when you have the heavy forwarder, where you can do input as well as uh, parsing also. So it will give less load to the indexer. So you can call it as heavy forwarder as all-rounder, batting all-rounder. You can say batting all-rounder, where it can do the batting as well as some kind of bowling, whether it's a medium speed or spin. So that whenever it needed, it will do the both the roles. In the same way, heavy forwarder also works as a parsing agent as well as input collection. So there will be the less burden on the indexer. So the main agenda of getting a heavy forwarder, and here the licensing will be, it's having 250 GB, more than 250 GB per day.
Shiva, are you there?
sorry. So the licensing for the, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now okay.
Okay. Okay, the licensing for heavy forward, the large environment is more than 250 GB per day. More than 250 GB per day. So that would be the licensing, the level for it. So in the large environment, so usually have the architecture like this, like the clustered subsets, the clustered indexers, the clustered heavy forwarders. So the burden will be shared by each and every individual heavy forwarder. Like if it's having 100% load, the 50 is shared by one and the 50 is shared with another one. So it's a much faster, the much effective, and it can do more indexing. Like it can index a more number of you can call it as more number of logs or more data. And here you have the in a licensing server and deployment server, because you have more than two like you have more components. You can, if you go if you calculate, you can see 8 components of the Splunk and different universal forwarders also. So if you want to do any configuration changes, you can use deployment server here. So the deployment server will be useful here, as well as the licensing server also. Okay, the licensing server will monitor the indexers and heavy forwarders based on the licensing part. Okay, this is clear. The large enterprise. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, the next one is very important, and most of the organizations will have the below one, the last one, the cluster organization, cluster environment, which is might be having the single site or multi-site. Let's say you have the bigger working for the bigger organizations which are having the more number of devices. Let's say 10,000 workstations are there, and 500 to 600 servers are there. In a big environment, you have the 60 to 70 sites, or different 60 to 70 offices are there. In that kind of bigger environment, the cluster site of Splunk will be using. So the cluster site will have the more than 250 GB. You can call it as more than 250 GB, but the GB generally would be on thousands only, thousands or in hundreds, like 400 GB, 500 GB, or kind of these kind of GBs will be there per day. So this is cluster environment where multi-site will be there. Here means the above things, all the components will be in one place, in one data center. But in the cluster environment, there might be in one center or the different center also, because of the complexity of the network. Here it is. So here it is the data diagram for the multi-site cluster environment. In this cluster environment, you can see the one, site 2. So both are connected together. So in the site 1, let's say site 1 is one of the data center. Let's say if the company stays, let's say an example. Let's say the company is Apple. Let's say I'm giving an example of Apple. Let's assume the main data centers of the Apple is one is stayed in Hyderabad, one is in US. The site 1 is Hyderabad, site 2 is US. For the all the America related US American as well as the European related the data which is collected from the site 2, which is US data center, and all the Asian related the sites data. Let's say Apple will be there in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, as well as Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and all. So all this collected in Asian data centers. So the entire Splunk is the maintained by single deployment server and licenses server. So all this is look like the complete structure, where you have the cluster. In the site 1, there is a cluster of search heads. The site 2, there is a cluster of search heads, and indexer site 1 cluster, indexer site 2 cluster. maybe forwarder in site 1 and site 2. The universal forwarder in different locations on different locations reporting to each one of the thing. But if somebody in the site 1 wanted to search for some of the data which is there in the site 2, also they'll get the data, because all the set sets are integrated together. All the set sets are integrated together, so you can get the data from anywhere, but the working and the installation and deployment will be on the different sites. This is the bigger organizations, so we'll see these kind of things. So, and there you can see the licensing server is works with both of them, and deployments are also will works with both of them, and there the indexes are will be clustered together, site 1 and site 2, and the set chart will be clustered together. You can see the green mark which is clustered, site 1 clustered to site 2 together, putting together, and set charts also will be there. This is how a simple Splunk cluster environment is there. So this is for the heavy usage site. Heavy usage site. And so this is how the different kinds of Splunk environments are there. And you might be having one question, how they will design the multi-sites and cluster sites, right? So to design this kind of cluster sites and all, there is one application also there. So Splunk Sizing App Spot is a private website. So where you can create the architecture kind of, for example, if you want to create architecture for the data. So we'll discuss about the different items here, the later part. Guys, give me a second. Sorry guys, I'm just sharing again. Okay, here there are the different items which we need to discuss later. But they just use this this is website will be used for the architectures to design a Splunk related items, like how many indexers we need, how many what's the disk space we need, the like hardware level items as well as data level items will be designed based on the this Splunk application, Splunk sizing opspot.com. So everybody clear with this? Any doubts on this? Guys, clear, or any doubts on the Splunk enterprise part?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, good. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask me now on the this Splunk architecture part, or else we'll move to the next topic.
In Splunk storage seizing,
Okay.
we'll get the minimum requirements of this uh, requirement of
Hardware related. Hardware.
hardware related.
Yeah, the minimum hardware related is like the for any Splunk. I'm telling in the general way. For any Splunk indexer or search head, so you should have 12 GB to 64 GB RAM. should have this, and minimum of 500. Like the database size would be based on how you put, but recommended but 2 TB storage for single indexer, like either 2 TB or 1 TB based on the size they're indexing. So this is the minimum hardware requirement for a single indexer on single search head. In this in this app sizing website, you will get data retention policies and all. I'll tell what is data retention policy and what is these items. So based on the usage, you can see how number of nodes means number of indexers, how many number of indexers we have. Based on that, how many how much data we can put. So cluster replication and all. This is our advanced level of advanced. You can say advanced level of architecture details in the Splunk, which is usually done with the architecture level, but we'll discuss that later. The basics, the basic you can say minimum requirement is this one. 12 GB to 64 GB indexer set shared, both same. RAM and 2 TB storage, whether 2 TB or 1 TB, it's based on the requirement itself. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. As we said, let me save this.
Hi Shiva, actually I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference between this Splunk and Windows Defender ATP, depending on the functionality and all? Like, both are same only, or?
Okay. Windows Defender APT, which is endpoint security tool. Splunk, which is completely on. You can say Splunk completely on the event and data collection format, which is not a active data detection or active malicious detection agent. Splunk is completely on the passive, like collecting the data and doing the analysis of the data. This is SIEM tool. So both are different technologies. Splunk is SIEM tool, that is come ATP Defender is like more of the malware part of the tool.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So both are different technologies as well.
Okay.
In the Splunk, all you have to do is you have to deal with the data. So whether it's a malware data or whether it's a network data or whether it's a or any kind of data, user related data, information you can say. In the APT, will usually look into the host level, the malware infections or host level, any suspicious infection, whether it's a malware or other related kind of items. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next important part in the Splunk is Splunk data buckets. Data. As we said, in the indexing level, the data stored in Splunk, right? So to do the storing part, so we need the capabilities of the database. So Splunk also having the capabilities of the database. It's having SQL DB in it. In depth, there is a backend, there is a SQL DB kind of thing will be running in the Splunk itself. So the data in Splunk is stored in form of the buckets. buckets. So what is bucket means? It's a chunks of the data based on the time frame of the data stored. Based on the time frame of the data stored, this is mentioned as different buckets. So what are the buckets are there? The one is hot bucket, cold bucket, sorry, warm bucket also there, warm bucket, cold bucket, and frozen bucket. So what is cold bucket? Hot bucket means the freshly freshly indexed data. The freshly came data is comes from the hot bucket. Let's say the data indexed from the last 10 days or last 15 days, you can mention as a hot bucket, which is more reachable to the indexed head. And once the data period of the hot bucket is moved to next level, let's say the data time is, let's say this data is indexed 15 days ago. 15 days ago, it moved to the next bucket, which is warm bucket, next to hot. And let's say sometime of that, sometime the data is stored in the warm bucket. Let's say after 1 month, if I put the data time in the warm bucket is 1 month. After 1 month, the data moved to cold bucket, which is somewhat the less searchable. So next to warm bucket, and which is less searchable, and frozen, which is taken away, moved from indexer and not searchable. So all these items, the data buckets will be taken into consideration in the form of data searchability. Searchability of the index from the search head. Let's say if the data is stored in the hot bucket, which is more searchable for the users, you can directly get the results. Let's say that the last 10 days data, that's 1 month data based on the time frame. If it is into warm bucket, it means it is searchable, but it's moved to the next folder. So you'll feel some time gap while doing the search for the warm bucket. So there will be a little lag. In the cold bucket, which is moved to the next level, the below level, so you'll have you'll have more time lag between searching and getting the data from the cold level, which is like, you can say, the last 3 months before data, past 3 months before data. Let's say if you want to search now, the last 10 days data would be the hot bucket, the last 1 month data would be the warm bucket, the last 3 months before the data would be on the cold bucket. And till first 3 buckets, the data is stored in the available, like near to the indexer or indexer, it will be stored in the indexer. But once the data is moved from the indexer to another place, which is for the security and compliance format, that's for the frozen data. This is frozen data cannot be searchable. You can't search from the Splunk the frozen data, which is kept in separate location, which is backuped in a separate location for the future purpose, or any, if something happened, they can look back into, they can again need to upload the data, the frozen data need to again upload to Splunk if they want to search. So these are the different buckets in Splunk. While doing Splunk architecture design, so you need to have data retention policy, so which is how much data we need to put in hot and warm and cold and frozen. Let's say if I put 15 days hot and cold bucket time, which means regularly, you can access that regularly, which is fast indexed data. The search performance is more. The next one is cold bucket. Once 15 days, the time frame between 15 days and 25 days data, older data is moved to cold bucket, which is can also be searched, but which is very slower, you can call it. Frozen data which is can't be searchable, it is not searchable, it is moved to some other disk. Let's say the data which comes after 60 days, if I want to search for the November data now, which is 60 more than 60 days number first week, so you can't search now, it's moved to another format. This is the data retention period. So any doubts on the data retention, hot, warm, cold, and frozen buckets?
No.
Okay, so these are the such different such buckets are there. And the next topic is, I think this Splunk products, I should mention this topic in the starting also, but somehow I missed it. Splunk products. So there are certain Splunk products. Splunk is a vendor. So this vendor having different products. So usually if I say Splunk, it means Splunk Enterprise. So if I say Splunk means this is Splunk Enterprise product. There are other products also there, which is Splunk Cloud, Splunk Lite. So Splunk Cloud, which is cloud version of the Splunk, you can get the free Splunk also, cloud version for the 1 month, I guess. And Splunk Lite, which is less version, degraded version of Splunk Enterprise, which are having less capabilities in terms of design and all. You'll have the less ability to do in Splunk Lite. In Splunk Cloud, you'll use the Splunk Cloud itself, Splunk hardware also. Along with that, you can use their platform to put the data on all. And Splunk Enterprise, here the Splunk will give you the application itself. The infrastructure would be yours only, but they'll give only application with an application of Splunk Enterprise. These are the different components of the Splunk. You can download these components and trial versions in the Splunk directly from the Splunk apply is also, sorry, let's Splunk.com. Splunk.com, you can directly get the Splunk products. Pricing, you can see different products and the pricing of the Splunk. Solutions, Splunk products. Here, the core products you can see. What this is. So there are Splunk Cloud, Splunk Enterprise, and Splunk Investigate. These are the latest versions, which is designed based on the latest requirements. But if you see the Splunk Cloud, Splunk Enterprise, and the Splunk Lite will be there. The three will be the main Splunk products. If you click on Free Splunk, you can get Splunk software download or cloud, which is Splunk Cloud is one of the version, and Splunk software, which is will give the 60 days of the version. Those two you can see from here, and you can explore, you can learn from the Splunk also. So these are the different Splunk products. Okay. I think, do you guys have any doubts on this? So far discussed points, Splunk architecture or Splunk working or different products and data buckets of the Splunk. If you guys are clear with this, then we can go ahead and with the next level, next session. Everybody clear, right? Okay. Yeah, the next part is the main, the exercise part and all, the main, the practical part. Here I have configured, I have the Splunk, which is there in the AWS platform. So I have built the Splunk in the AWS platform. Going forward, we'll work on this Splunk only. So where I'll provide the username for each one of you. There will be, I'll create one user account for you guys. So from tomorrow we can do all the things and all. Okay, I'll explain the basic. There are applications in the Splunk, which is for the first one is Splunk report, search and reporting, which is basic application. Let's say whatever I have logged in, this is Splunk search head. This is search head. Okay, search head. I have logged in. So here you can see there are different tabs are there. The first one is Splunk search, where you can do the searching. Very simple, like Google, Google kind of search bar is there, where you can do the searching and all the search related items you can do. And the second one, analytics, search analytics, which is workspace related information, which is we can't, like this one we won't be discussing much into, but the reports, alerts and dashboards, which we're going to discuss and we want to create, do the practicing on the reports, alerts and dashboards. So these three you guys need to practice more on this part: searching, reporting, alerts and dashboards, which we'll be doing tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, tomorrow we'll do all these exercises. Meanwhile, you guys need to drop me emails. All of you, please drop me an email in WhatsApp along with username, short username of yours, which is which is like the 5-letter word, 5 or 4-letter word, 5-letter word, which would you like to have. And the password, I'll set one password like that's you need to reset when you log in the first time. I'll set with the default password. You need to log in into, you have to set the set it when you log in. I need these three details from you guys so that I can create the usernames today, so that we can start from the tomorrow directly. We can start from the exercises part tomorrow and the next week also. Okay, this is, we can do like the searching part. I'll explain tomorrow itself, then it would be good. The SPL part and all, how to do the searching and all. Just read about the today's topic, the Splunk architecture and the different Splunk components, data buckets, and how Splunk works, and different environments, and also just read about all these things. Okay, one more thing I wanted to discuss is, hello, you guys are there? Okay, just drop these details in the WhatsApp, then I can create the accounts today itself, and I will give you an email to each one of you. And there are two announcements now. There is a next batch which is starting from the 25th of the January. So if any of your friends are looking for the training and all, just refer them. You can give directly my number, or you can give my number to them. Then they can also reach out to me. So the next session from 25th November, so January, sorry. And the one more, whoever doesn't like, the Cycran will reach out to you guys for the payments related items. Like whoever not paid the fees, he will reach out to you guys. Please respond to him. So I think that's all for now. Like, you guys have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Shiva, have you uploaded all the previous recordings?
I think yes, it's uploaded. Let me check again. I think almost all the like, let me go through. I have uploaded few documents also. Yes, I think yeah, it's uploaded. The last one also, as well as I have uploaded the reference material. Like we discussed about the books and all. Few of the books which is very useful for the Splunk related or malware analysis related items. I have uploaded all these books, reference materials, as well as the reference PCAPs which we did in the PCAP sections. I have uploaded that also, and yeah, the last class is also uploaded. Yes, vulnerability management is uploaded. Yeah. You guys have any doubt, you can reach out to me anytime, and I think that's all for today.
Yeah, okay, Shiva.
Yeah, thanks everyone. And yeah, if you have any of your friends are looking for the training related, just give me my number, or yeah, tell them like there is a next batch starting from the January last week. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.